Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Veronica. Today I'm warning you, I'm gonna ban for a little while because of this game. Because this game is, first of all, it is ridiculously expensive, and second of all, sometimes it just refuses to work. And for the last whole week, I couldn't even launch the game. Like, my game would start, it would load to the first loading screen, so it wouldn't load at all, and it wouldn't even go further to the main menu. I was sad. I was a little bit infuriated because, I wanted to play. I wanted to record the video. I wanted to build this park. So there is a slight thing about this park. And yes, we are building a park in a Newcrest now because we still kind of did not finish my Newcrest project. It's been over a year now. And I kind of want to get it done, but I will not get it done so soon because we have one more park after this one to build. And I'm not building two parks in a row. Like, that's going to be boring, even for me. So as for this whole build, we are building a park on a 30 by 40 lot on that like line like looking area in the Newcrest, and that's gonna be kind of simple of a park. We are gonna have some indoor space, we're gonna have some outdoor space, and of course, even though this park is literally a 30 by 40 lot, literally half of this lot is occupied by a pond. And now that I look at the recording of me building this park, I kind of think that I could have made it not even a speed build, but like, real time build. But here we are in a speed build time. So this park is going to be kind of small. It's going to have quite a lot of water. It's going to have quite a little amount of things to do because, we are going to have a little like a kids area in here. We are going to have some sort of, I don't know, dine and play chess area in here, and we're gonna have a fountain area. And in the fountain area, I just thought, we're gonna have a fountain, some benches, so your Sims might sit out there, they might talk to each other, they might communicate, and that's literally most of it. And for the park itself, for the landscaping, I was using a lot of base game because we are in the base game world. Why don't we use a lot of base game? And surprisingly, maybe I was using quite a bit of island living. And as for the island living, I was mostly using that like underlayer grass that came with that because with non-debug grasses, non-debug landscaping, there is something that makes it much, much, much easier for me to make, and that is the fact that it doesn't jump to the highest points of our terrain when we are building a house or we are building anything, literally anything in The Sims. And sometimes when you're building something and when it doesn't go the way you want it to go, and when sometimes your landscaping is jumping up and down wherever you are, it gets a little bit annoying. Especially when you're building a park, when there is quite a bit of landscaping. And here, yes, I went all out with landscaping because you know me, if you're watching my channel for a little while, but I really much like all the landscaping, the things I do, and I try to tame that a bit, like not a bit, quite a lot. But I cannot help myself sometimes, and I just really want to landscape a lot sometimes. And the parks are the perfect opportunity for me to do exactly that. But the doubts are always there. Like, did I over landscape it already? Didn't I not? But in here, I think I did. But is that a bad thing? The park needs to be heavily landscaped. I cannot imagine for myself a park which looks like neatly perfect with grasses cut perfectly even everywhere and stuff. Of course, I have parks like that somewhere in the town where I live, but they are not parks. They are like, I don't know, a tiny square with grasses instead of stones. So that is not a park for me. The park for me is something forest-like. It's something where you go and there is a lot of growth everywhere. There is a lot of undergrowth. There are a lot of different plants and flowers and stuff. So here I was kind of channeling that. So yes, this park kind of looks like a fountain, pond, landscaping, like literal forest around the park, and a tiny little cabin, which is like not like a cabin, but it's like a tiny house where I decided just to make some sort of like a sitting, living area so that in case when you come over to this park and the weather is not so nice, you can still hang out in here because we have inside. So that is something that can be kind of useful if you're playing The Sims. At least I think so, because sometimes when the only inside of a park is the bathroom and you come over there and it's thunderstorm and your Sims get terrified a little bit, it's annoying because you need to go through a couple more loading screen just to get away from there. You literally just spend quite a bit of time loading the park where you cannot do anything because the weather doesn't allow that. So I just decided that as for this park, I really much do want to just go make it so that you can do here something, at least something, whether the weather is nice or not, so that you would not care about the weather. So I think that I did manage that well. And as for a tiny little ripple through, like literally in the middle of the video, which just happened like a minute ago. The problem is that, as I have said, I could not load into my game for a whole week, and I was kind of trying to make this park over a week ago. So you could have seen this video last week, but you did not, because of course the game, over $1,000 game, did not load. So, and by the way, if you encounter a problem like that, I have encountered this problem and I have figured that I can load a game whenever I'm trying to load it offline. But as for me, for the person who tries to build, like, to upload something for the gallery, I kind of want some online parts of the game, so it did not go so well. Of course, the game did load, but it wasn't complete as for me. So I just wrote to EA App support and they fixed everything like literally overnight. And now I can play my Sims game again. So I waited the whole week for nothing. But happens. And anyway, even though we have this tiny, like, little ripple somewhere in the middle of this whole recording, I still did remember what I was trying to make with that. Of course, I was really tempted to start over today when I was finishing this build, but I just thought that, I did all this work not for nothing. I'm gonna finish it the way I first intended it to make, and this whole park, I'm kind of satisfied with the way it looks in the end. Of course, I've spent quite a bit of time trying to figure out lighting everywhere because, lighting should be nice. It should be pretty. You would like to visit a park which is well lit in the night, where it's not pitch dark everywhere, so that, not don't get scared. Of course, in The Sims we don't have creepy people. Of course, we have some creeps in The Sims, of course, like, but they are scripted creeps, so you can avoid them somehow. But anyway, as for the park, I still tried to go for some slight realism, so that I did place quite a lot of lighting everywhere around, so that it's not that scary and dark at night, at least. I hope that I have managed that well. I hope that you're gonna like that. I hope that this video is not too much sped up for you, but after not recording any videos for the whole week, I am kind of impatient. So yeah, I just thought that I'm not gonna rebuild the whole park, so that not to make it speed build, but it's speed build already, so you're seeing that as a speed build. I hope that you like it. I hope that you're not mad at me for not being here for the whole week, but anyway, I think that you are not mad at me because I'm kind of happy that this week I did hit 150 subscribers, so that is quite a lot of me because, imagining that I'm speaking in front of like 150 people, quite a bit of that's quite an amount of people actually, because that's an audience and I don't know that much people in real life, I think, so that's quite a bit. Of course I know that much people because I work in a big company. But anyway, as I was saying, that we are kind of going now on the inside of that tiny little building that we've got right in this park. And in that building, there is nothing all that much special, but I was just trying to make some sort of like a cozy cabin vibe in there. Like, not a cabin, but a cozy house. I don't know, cozy living room. So in there, we have some couches. So there we have a couple of armchairs from the Cottage Living pack. We have the wallpaper from the same pack. We have some sort of like niche where I decided to place a fireplace. I just did not know what I'm gonna do with that niche. And at first, I thought about placing there a couch, but then I just thought that, a fireplace is gonna be kind of nice in there. And now that I just have looked at the recording, I figured that I did not place couch evenly, so I'm gonna fix that when I'm gonna show you the tour. But this build is not yet uploaded to the gallery while I'm recording that, so yeah, I just figured that whenever I'm making a speed build, I'm gonna upload my build on the gallery. after I finish the recording of the tour, because I figured that, during the tours, I kind of find myself finding mistakes in my builds, which I'm fixing during the tours, and that's a little bit annoying when you've already uploaded the build on the gallery and it's out there with the mistakes of sorts. So that's not exactly what I like, but I now upload after recording. So that's some sort of like organization moment for me, which you did not really need to know, because why would you know that? Like, why would you need this information? Because it concerns literally me and only me. Anyway, as for the cabin, I just had decided that on the closed off kind of area, we are gonna have just sitting area where you can read some books, where you can warm yourself by the fireplace. And also we have some sort of like a sunroom area, which is like a greenhouse attached to the main building. And in there, I just decided to place like a place room. So in there we have a place table. So in there you can play cards. In there you can play Don't Be the Llama or whatever it's called. I don't remember, but you can play quite a bit of games in there if you have packs, and if you don't, you can play cards, which still is fun. And I just thought that it's like a nice area for us to have in the house in this kind of build, because having some area to sit on the inside and enjoy spending time with your family is nice to have. Not all of us have a privilege like that, but my Sims will have something like that. And as for the outside areas, of course, I think you have seen some sort of like island that I have placed somewhere in the middle of our pond, where I decided to make like enclosed area, maybe for a couple to hang out in there. In there, I decided to place a couple of plants. I also have out there a light, so it's not pitch dark, and we have out there a couple of benches, so couples can spend some time out there. And also the second open area we have on the outside is our kind of like a diner, I might call it, but in there I just decided to stick a couple of tables so that your Sims can sit out there. Maybe some of your Sims are gonna do their homework or something like that. Or maybe they can grill and eat something out there, because anyway, it's a park, it's a nice spot to go out here and eat out here. So why don't any of us do something like that? I think that's gonna be kind of fun to have area like that around you somewhere. And as for our chess and dining area, also the fun thing is that somewhere later throughout the speed build, I just decided that maybe it's gonna be a nice spot to place a death trap. So yeah, we have a wishing well out there again. I keep placing wishing well, I think, in every single one of the parks that I build, except for the dog park that I have built for my Newcrest project before. But I just think that having an area where your Sims might die is maybe fun, because have an area where you might die is always fun, because it adds some chaos to the game, and this game, especially if you play for quite a while, can sometimes get a little bit boring. But chaos makes it more fun, because it makes you imagine something new for your Sims. So I think that that is kind of fun. And now that I'm kind of going around and fixing stuff with landscaping, trying to landscape it all. And with landscaping, I didn't go all that much like very difficult. I just went the usual, using door terrain paint just to make shadows. I did place some sand in the kids area of the park. Also, I did place some tiny rocks. How is that called? Like tiny rocks, what pebbles. I just placed a lot of pebbles in the area where adults are gonna hang out, like in that diner area, I think, and in the entryway of the park. And I just did add some shadows. So that's it for landscaping. Like, landscaping doesn't need that much of description, because it's literally the usual for me. And now I think I'm gonna go back to the game, and I'm gonna show you what we have ended up with. So this is our tiny little park. Of course, it's not like that tiny, it's kind of big, and it's kind of obvious that it's much heavier landscape than everything around this whole park. But I think let us go out here. In the front we have like this board where maybe in event announcements are gonna be. We have a lot of landscaping everywhere around, like a lot of trees, because in the park we need quite a bit of shadows. As we go up this tiny little stair, we go to this like fountain platform where we have our fountain. It's just a simple dome fountain, and I did place some lights everywhere around. I thought about making it circle, but I just thought that this shape is a little bit simpler to work with. And of course, in here we have some benches. I just did place some trash cans everywhere around the benches, and I did place these boards with announcements. Of course, we have some clipping around, but I just think that that doesn't matter that much. We have this cabin out here. In the cabin, as I have said, we don't have anything like all that much, but we have just a living area. Now it's even. We have here a couple of bookshelves. In here we also have this fire pit, I might call it fireplace. And right through here we can access our sunroom. In here, of course, we just have some sitting area, some place table. On here we have some plants. I like placing plants, so I did not limit myself with that. I think kind of obvious. And here we have a couple of bathrooms. They are pretty much the same, just mirror. So nothing so difficult about them. I did place a couple of toddler parties because we have some toddler activities on the outside, and through this sliding glass door we can access our tiny little porch out here. And as we go down here we have a dollhouse, we have swing set. Also in here we have a tiny little toddler pool, I might say, and we have this tiny toy treehouse, so your Sims might play in here. And we have some music and a plant cow. And in here, I'm imagining that we kind of can catch some fishes or maybe swim in here. I think that just catch fishes because I doubt that your Sims are going to swim around in these ponds. And this is on this side, which is accessible only through this building, like, the area for the kids should be guarded, so that's what we have out here. As we go, if we go to the right, and here we have chess and eat area. In here we have 3 tables, a grill, trash can, death trap, also a couple of chess tables so that you can play some chess. And out here we have kind of like a closed dining area. In here I decided to place these like fountain, which I'm gonna fix placement because it was clipping through the fences now. And we have some lights around here, we have some plants around here, and some string lights. I just like these string lights. I think they are from Little Campers, and they are my favorite ones. And from here we have kind of like an open view towards our pond area, and I just like how this pond looks, this heavily landscaped. I just like the way it looks because, as for me, it looks cozy. And you might wonder, why did I place quite a bit of landscaping somewhere in the middle of the pond? And that is just because I wanted to make this tiny little area in the middle of our pond private, because I was imagining it's like a couples area, so maybe teenagers are gonna go there for the date. Maybe not teenagers, maybe adults are gonna go here for the date too. So that is why I just tried to cover this area up mostly so that nobody is gonna interfere with us. And in here we have some cute string lights on the way towards our private area. And in here we have some just like decor and the view of the pond. And I just think that this area turned out to be quite beautiful. And as for the whole surrounding area, I just did landscape it heavily so that, the trees are covering everything. And this is literally what our park is all about. And now let me show you how it looks at night. And by the way, I did recolor fountain trim so that it just matches the vibe. So as for the park at night, we have quite a bit of lights. Of course, it's not so bright in the front, but as you go here through here and down here, we have quite a bit more lights around here everywhere. This area, this like diner area, is kind of dimly lit, but I just think that that's not so bad of a thing because we still have some cute lights and string lights, make it look cozy, as I think. As we go towards our front area from here, in here this pathway I think is kind of well lit with the string lights, and here we have a lamp too, so it's not so dark. And in the tiny little house we don't have that much lighting, but we have our lighting in the main living area, we have some lights in the bathroom, and I just decided to place here this corner lamp because, placing a hanging lamp on the glass roof is a little bit weird, I guess, but that's what I did for the lighting. And as for our kids area, it's, I think, best lit in here because I just did stick out here quite a bit of these tiny dot lights which are for the outdoors. And I just decided to place some light somewhere around in the bushes so it's not so dark and gloom out here. And that's literally it because this build is not that big, it's not that much. It has some repetitive things, of course, but that is just, when you're playing The Sims, you kind of want some things to be repeated over and over so that your game is not gonna get so leech of all the variety of things that you have around. So now I think I'm gonna post this house on a gallery. And I'm gonna call it Park for Optimist Outlook because that's exactly what it is. And this park is built for optimist outlook. It is perfect for some sunny summer days, of course, because it's park. It's also nice to spend some time out here when it's, some chilly, cold, like maybe not so cold, not so chilly, but cool spring nights, maybe just to spend some time out here. And this lot is already on the gallery. And it can be found by my gallery name. My gallery name is gloverunt, just like my YouTube name. And also all of my Newcrest Project builds I post under my Newcrest Project hashtag, so you can find it there too. And actually all of the information about these builds, including the pack list, which is kind of long out here, not so long as I was expecting that, but still quite long, can be found in the description for this video. So I think right now I'm gonna thank you for watching, and if you like videos like that, I think you might subscribe to my channel, and this as well might be a goodbye. So I think bye guys.